Sorry. Hello.
Hello. Guys, happy afternoon. A small change we will try to do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It sounds interesting, illa antilla. But other than if we can keep an happiness as constant and transform it as happy morning, happy afternoon, happy evening, happy night, it can bring a big change in the way you start thinking. So, today the topic that was given to me is goal setting. ಒಂದು ಗುರಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಗುರಿನ ಯಾವ ತರ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಟೂ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಕ್. ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ setting up the goal. Next is how do I achieve this goal. These are the two targets for today. How many of you are 10th standard students? Please raise your hand. Okay, 9th, 8th. Okay, the rest are 8th and we teachers are the rest. Now, just to talk about the importance of why goal is important is because you are coming to a turning point of your life, which is the most important first turning point of your life. You ask your teachers also, our first turning point was our 10th standard. Now ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೊದಲನೇ 10ನೇ ತರಗತಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, that will be considered as the first turning point. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಜಾಬ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರು nobody is going to ask you ನಿನ್ಗೆ 1ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂದ till 9th standard what was the total marks you have scored or what was the best percentage you have scored. Nobody is going to ask us that. They ask what was your 10th standard percentage. Even before you could set the goal, let me set a goal. Right now your first turning point is coming shortly within 3 months for the 10th standard students. Maybe after 1 year for the 9th standard students, maybe after 2 years for the 8th standard students. The target is fixed. But you will have to fix a goal that in this so-called first turning point of my life, can I score the best and be happy for the rest of my life? So there is a choice here. I know 10th standard is my first turning point. There is nothing like first 10th standard exam. No. Second impression is always considered as a second impression. There is never a first second impression. If at all you rewrite your 10th standard exam and try to score an higher marks, that would be considered as did you write a second attempt or did you write a supply in order to score good marks. So always remember, an opportunity like 10th standard first time in your life comes only once and you will have to see to it you acquire it. Most of you who are sitting here, maybe when I was also sitting when I was of your age and when I was actually sitting there, I also had this inhibition. Inhibition andre one sandeha adanu karibodu, or you can put it as confusion also, or you can put it as not so confident also. ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಪದ ಬಳಸಿದ್ರು same. For anything that we want to set as a goal, ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದ ಗುರಿ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, there is a confusion in us. Will it be possible for me to achieve it? Most of us, when we were of first, second, third, fourth, fifth standard, we were very daring enough. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ what do you want to become? We would have told many a times engineer, we would have told many a times doctor, we would have told many a times army man, we would have told many a times scientist, we would have told many a times lot of such professions because we were daring enough and we believed it. But slowly what happened, as our age started progressing, the external world started putting lot of information into our mind. When this information started coming, our goal, whatever we had set, the confidence of achieving that goal started weakening up. And slowly when it became weakened and weakened and weakened and weakened, we started thinking, I think this is not an achievable goal. And practically what did we do? We started giving up on our goals. The same boy who has actually always told I want to be an engineer and slowly says, No, I don't want to be an engineer. Engineer is very difficult, it seems. No, I don't want to be a scientist. For scientist, I should be very smart, it seems. No, I cannot become a businessman. For businessman, I will have to be good in finance, it seems. All these preconditions are true. I'm not saying no. But let me tell you, if at all you decide I want to achieve something, in God's book, there is nothing called as denial. ದೇವರ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ರೀಸನ್ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾನ ಒಂದು ಗುರಿ ಇದ್ದು ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಸಾಧಿಸಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ದೃಢ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪದ ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಡಿಲೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಡಿನೈಯಲ್. ಡಿಲೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್. ಆ ಡಿಲೇನೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಅಚೀವ್, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮೂತ್ ಅಚೀವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. There should be a lot of difficulties. Difficulties will be thrown onto you. With all the difficulties, if I can actually overcome that, be there, hold on to the goal, there is nothing called as denial in your life. I don't know how many of you would have seen this beautiful movie of Shah Rukh Khan, Om Shanti Om Anta. Actually, what does this movie actually give you a message is, it's a very simple message. अगर आप किसी को चाहते हो, it could be anything. I want to achieve this goal. I want to have this BMW car. I want to be a master businessman. I want to be a leader. I want to be an entrepreneur. You have a goal. You have a wish. When I have a wish, अगर मैं किसी चीज को इतना चाहता हूँ दिल से, until my last breath, if I am able to hold on to it, there is nothing that you will have to do. The entire universe will do what needs to be done, and it will gift you what should be given to you. So that is how all the goals have materialized till now. Let me fill you with lot of confidence. First confidence could be, how many of you sitting here, because you don't have enough money, your parents have told, ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಕಾಸಿಲ್ಲ ಫೀಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡು, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಟೀ ಮಾಡು. ಟೀ ಮಾರ್ತಾ 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 ಕಾಸು ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಯು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್. ಇಫ್ ಎನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್, ನೋ. But there was one boy who was in this situation, a chai wala, and today he is considered as one of the best prime minister the world has. That is true. Narendra Modi. What was he? Chai wala. He did go to school, yes, but he did not have enough money. His parents were very poor. They were not highly educated. But still, he had a strong determination. He had a strong conviction that I want to make big, and I will have to make it so big that it should help India. And today, he is considered as the greatest prime minister the world has ever seen. What could be the meaning of a tribal? 10th standard students. Whom do you call tribals? Deep forest, not even forest. Very deep forest, completely outside the living environment. If at all there are people who are living kaada manushru inta inno salpa inde, they live with wild animals as though they are their pet animals, and they live as wild animals only. There is no culture in them. A tribal girl there decides, I want to make big in my life. I am not born to be a tribal woman. That was a gift that God has given. That is, I was born as a tribal child. To whom you are born is a gift given by God. How you die is a gift what you give to God. Now the choice is, am I ready to give that gift to my God? Am I ready to give that gift to my parents? Because you cannot select, she's going to be my mother, he's going to be my father, I'm going to be born to this caste, I'm going to be born to this religion, I'm going to be born as this nationality. No choice is given. It is being poured onto you and you are born. The greatest return gift what you can give is, can I actually die satisfying my goal or reaching my goal? That's a question you will have to ask. And this tribal girl, deep inside, she had a dream. Deep inside, she had a goal and she told, I am not made for small things in life. I not only want to grow myself, I'll have to help enough tribal people to come out of this environment and be as successful as any other people. With this goal, she keeps working day in, day out, and today she is the president of our India. Whom am I talking about? Droupadi Murmu. She was a tribal woman who did not even wear clothes. Forget about the conditions of how they were actually in their home, what kind of education they would have followed. Schools in forest? Highly impossible to think. From there, if she could become the first citizen of India, you and me are in a better position. So when you ask yourself, you should feel, yes, I am already in a better position. But my father is not an engineer. Ask Droupadi Murmu's father, was he an engineer? No, he was also one of the tribal, Card Manusha. And today, she is the president. She did not think her future or her success is dependent on who her father is. Most of us think, no? If I need to become successful, it is very important who my father is, who my neighbor is, who my brother is, who my mom is. Can you tell this to this fisherman's son? There was this fisherman's son. He should have at least become a good fisherman, that's all. Nothing more, nothing less. And he was not living in a city also. He was living on the south, deep down, very close to Sri Lanka. Rameshwaram, to be very precise. He was a fisherman's son. He should have lived as a fisherman and he should have died as a fisherman. Just like his brothers. But this boy says, no mama, I don't want to be a fisherman. I want to be somebody big. I am interested in studies. I want to study because I know studies can transform me from where I am to something else. Chaiwala knew that studies can transfer me from where I am to something else. Droupadi Murmu knew this. Studies can transfer me from where I am to something else. And they made a choice. And today we consider Abdul Kalam as the greatest scientist, Abdul Kalam as the greatest president, Abdul Kalam as the greatest astronaut. Yes. Why? Because he had that conviction, I want to make big in life. Today I am asking you, all of you who are sitting here, what can actually come as an hindrance compared to these three examples what I have given? You are already in a far better place. If I go as per max, if x equals this, y equals this, z has to be definitely equal to this, because x and y, after that z will come. If X, a person who is a fisherman's son, if he can become a scientist, again Y, a person who is actually a tribal woman, if she can become a president, again X or Y or one more entity, if a chaiwala, if he can become the greatest prime minister, you are not sitting at this pedestal, you are already there. From there, it is very easy to reach the goal, whatever you have in mind. But do you have that strong will? I want to. Let me tell you this beautiful, how our mind works. There is a beautiful saying in English, where there is a will, there is a way. Can you repeat it 3 times? Where there is a will, there is a way. Again, where there is a will, there is a way. No, there is always a way. Do you have the will? From the same school, 10th standard, I have seen the outside posters. There are students who have got 100 out of 100. Maths, they have got 100 out of 100. Science, they have got 100 out of 100. Maths, they have got 100 out of 100. Social science, they have got 100 out of 100. So, there is always a way to score 100%. But do you have the will? A chaiwala has become a prime minister. There is no such condition which will say he cannot. There is always a way. Do you have the will? When we speak about will, there are 2 things that comes. One is willingness. Nan madlebeku. That is called as willingness. Nan madak ishta illa. That is called as non-willingness. Nan madlebeku anta enagutte, you will start getting solutions. ನಾನು ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಡಿಸೈಡೆಡ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು. ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ವಿಲ್, ವೇ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಬಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೂ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬಾರ್ನ್. I want 100%. I really want 100%. So get up at 4 o'clock and start studying, because anybody who studies early in the morning, before the sun rises and after the sun rises, this time of entire 24 hours is considered as Brahmi Muhurta or Brahma Muhurta. With little energy, you can have maximum benefit there. And that time it is written in Vedas that you should be doing the most important job of your life. Right now, the most important goal or job that you will have to acquire is your 10th standard result. Your goal is already decided. For that, I need to get up. When there is a willingness, I want 100%, you will definitely get up at 4 o'clock. When there is a non-willingness, then what happens? You start giving excuse. No, instead of 4, I'll get up at 5. No, I slept late in the night at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, so I cannot get up at 4. Again, non-willingness is an excuse in the wrong place. When you're willing, you will not give excuse. So ask yourself, are you willing to help yourself? Most of the time, if you're not successful, your parent, your neighbor, your agalwala, bagalwala, nobody is responsible. You are the one who is responsible. If Modi became so successful from a chaiwala to Prime Minister, nobody else is responsible. Modi himself is responsible. If tribal woman today becomes the president, nobody is responsible. She herself is responsible. There are still many tribal women who are living in the forest, who are dying in the forest. So, if they are not successful, again it is only because of them. There is a beautiful statement, we always say it in Hindi. Dushman kahan hai? Can you repeat it? Dushman kahan hai? 3 times. Dushman kahan hai? Dushman kahan hai? Answer? Dushman bagal mein hai. 3 times. Dushman bagal mein hai. Again? Dushman bagal mein hai. I'll add up one more line. Dushman bagal mein nahi hai. Dushman andar hai. If you're not getting up at 4 o'clock, Dushman is not agal bagal. You did not get up at 4 o'clock. So let us repeat that again 3 times. Dushman bagal mein nahi hai, andar hai. Use your right hand. Dushman bagal mein nahi hai. Right hand. Bagal mein nahi hai, andar hai. Once again. Dushman bagal mein nahi hai, andar hai. Dushman bagal mein nahi hai, andar hai. When the alarm rings, you don't get up. Your bagalwala is not responsible. 4 o'clock, you don't get up. Your bagalwala is not responsible. A teacher gives you an assignment. You postpone it and finally do it on the last day. Your agal bagalwala is not responsible. If a fisherman's son remains a fisherman, it's not because his father was a fisherman. It is only because he had decided that he wants to live a life out of convenience. Ask yourself, how are you leading your life? If you are leading your life out of convenience, you will take up easy paths. Very easy paths you will take up. If you are living a life out of conviction, you will take up difficult paths. Conviction ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಮಳೆ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ನೋವ್ತಿದೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮದುವೆ ನಡೀತಿದೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಿಗ್ ಬಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹನುಮಂತು ಗೆಲ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಡಿಸೈಡೆಡ್ ಮೈ ಕನ್ವಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೀ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಅದರ್ ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯನ್ಸ್. ನನಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ, ಬಿಗ್ ಬಾಸ್ ನೋಡಿದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನನಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ, ನಾನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. 4 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, 7 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, what is happening here? You are interested in doing, but you are not interested in doing now. That is convenience. Conviction is, I know Deepavali is an important celebration, but this year if I don't celebrate Deepavali, nothing harm will happen. Why? Next year when my 10th results come and I stand 95%, I will celebrate the same Deepavali with much more happiness. and I can celebrate many more Deepavalis with this happiness of my 10th standard marks. But if today I don't take this conviction, I and my exam, nothing else will come in between me, then I will suffer all my Deepavalis because I did not do good in my 10th. God also plays this beautiful trick. Whenever God gives you a choice, He adds two emotions into the choice. ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ನೀವು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನೀವು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ಆ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಟೂ ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್. ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೆಜರಬಲ್ ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್, ಅದು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಒಂಥರ ಪ್ಲೆಜರಬಲ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪೇನ್ಫುಲ್ ಎಮೋಷನ್ಸ್. ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ಲೆಜರ್ ಇಷ್ಟ, ಸೊ ಯು ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೆಜರ್, ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೆಜರ್, ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೆಜರ್, ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೆಜರ್. You don't want pain, so you avoid pain, avoid pain, avoid pain. God has played this trick. He is again playing one more trick. What is that? Initial pleasure will give you permanent pain. Repeat after me. Initial pleasure will give me permanent pain. Again repeat. Initial pleasure will give me permanent pain. One more time. Initial pleasure will give me permanent pain. Ma'am is not moving. You only one. You say it, ma'am. Initial pleasure gives me permanent pain. Pleasure gives me permanent pain. Are you in pain? No, no. Then be happy. Say it. Initial pleasure gives you permanent pain. Let me put it the other way. Initial pain will give me permanent pleasure. Repeat after me. Initial pain will give me permanent pleasure. I'll explain you. Getting up early in the morning when it is very cold, when you are getting a sound sleep, it is not pleasurable. It is painful. But if I hit myself and if I push myself and if I get up at 4 o'clock, wash myself, do a small yoga for 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes of meditation and sit for studies, it is painful. I'm not saying no. But when you consistently do one after the next day till the exam, your exam results will be high. Automatically you will have a permanent pleasure for your lifetime. But instead, no, I don't want to get up, let me sleep. It is pleasurable to sleep. You keep sleeping. As exam dates come nearer and nearer, you are under tense. Because why? You have not studied up to the mark. You also know that. When you have not studied up to the mark, that pain, that stress is haunting you, and sometimes you feel very silly about yourself and you feel like saying, why didn't you get up? You stand in front of the mirror and you say, why didn't you get up? You should have got up. My score would have been better. But still, there what happens, you will experience a permanent pain because you volunteered initial pleasure. Everything, every activity what you do. So when the goals are set, in order to achieve that goals, a right kind of action has to be performed. Right kind of choices has to be performed. Just for our understanding, let me put it like this. Our entire life can be considered as BCD living. Because I am talking about goals, I am calling it as BCD living. Now the beginning has happened. For 9th standard, today is the beginning. For 8th standard, also today is the beginning. For 10th standard, also today is the beginning. Our target is fixed. 10th standard exam. Our beginning has already happened. Maybe you will have a lot of time. Our destination, whatever I call destination, is my exam. BCD way of living. B is the beginning, it has already happened. D is the destination, destination is fixed. To any one of you sitting here, sir, 9th class atna nanu odalla sir. No. All of you know that you will have to touch 10th and you will have to get through that 10th. This destination is already fixed. Beginning has already happened. This is not under your control. This is not under your control. This is where it is under your control. The right kind of decision, choices what you make is under your control. Destination is your exam. Beginning has happened. in order to reach the destination with colorful marks, colorful preparation. What is your choice? Can I make right kind of choices here? That is a choice that is allowed to you. Choice number 1, I'll start getting up early in the morning at 4 o'clock because I know if I put little efforts, I can get maximum benefit. You execute that first choice. From today, come what may, I will do that morning reading. The second choice, whenever I find difficulty in any particular lessons, in any particular chapter, without hesitating, I will go up to my teacher and ask for a revision, come what may. If the teacher will definitely not scold you, maybe how many times I will have to tell you, she may put this word simply, but she will be happy to explain you, get that revision done and see to it you are working towards your target. Very, very, very important. But whenever you are preparing for the exam, the goal is set. Are you preparing in the right manner? That is the question I'll have to ask. Are you really preparing in the right manner? Even for the teachers also, because we know this, and students for you also, there are 3 kinds of learnings, or there are 3 styles of learnings what student can actually follow. The first one we call it as visual learners. Visual learners and once the teacher explains in the board, they just observe. By observing, they will understand everything to such a perfection that they need not go home and read at all. Once again, they can open the book, just observe it. Their visual is so strong that they can grasp every point of it without missing any, and they would do extremely good in the exam. These are called as visual students. VISUAL, visual students. And there is a second set of students. ನೋಡಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು 10% 50 ಭಾಗ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. Until unless they don't listen to it multiple times, it will never get deep into their mind and it will never give them a perfection that I have understood. So anthavrigeno they will have to read loudly. Yake? They will have to hear. Their audio is very strong. To put it in simple terms, there are blind students also who pass 10th standard with 10% at least in few subjects marks. How will they do it when they can't observe? Their auditory is so strong. Once they listen, they will never forget it. They need to listen to it again and again, again and again. These are called as auditory people. And there is a third set. Adrudu one story helbitu I will come back. These third set of students are slow learners. Just by observing they can't understand. Even I am also one of them. Just by reading multiple times I cannot understand. But when I write it once, I can memorize it without any problem. These are called as kinesthetic students. So as a teacher, it is our responsibility to identify what kind of student is this guy. If he is auditory, I am trying to push kinesthetic, it may not work. If he is actually visual, I am trying to push auditory, it may not work. And what will be your number of attempts that you will have to do in order to reach your target? Everybody's number of attempts will be different. It cannot be the same. Let me share it with a beautiful story you will understand. All of you have visited Udupi Hotel? Any Udupi Hotel? What is famous in an Udupi Hotel? Idli Vada. It so happened, one Raju who was from Mangalore, he comes to Bangalore. But in Mangalore, he was staying in Udupi. Udupi is a very good city. You know Udupi Krishna, that famous place. When he came to Bangalore, he had come to attend an interview in Infosys. Enuk bandidru? To attend an interview in Infosys. He had already promised himself, ದೇವ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋವರೆಗೂ ನಾನು ತಿಂಡಿ ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ. He had already decided. He comes to Infosys, he goes for an interview early in the morning at 8 o'clock. Somehow his interview is through and they told collect the offer letter and the offer letter is in his hand. He was so happy. With that happiness he thought, let me have my best breakfast in Bangalore. So he was looking for the best hotel. When he saw as he was passing by, there was one hotel and there was a huge rush. ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ನಮ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗು ಏನು, ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ರಶ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ತಿಂಡಿ ಊಟ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. So he gets in and there is a owner who is sitting at the counter only. He goes up to the owner and he asks, "Sir, you have best good idlis and vadas?" "Yes sir, idlis are also good, vadas are good, but we are famous for vadas sir." And he says, "Good sir, do you actually have a tasty vada?" He says, "Yes sir." Amele, if I eat your vada, will my hunger be satisfied? 100% sir. Kutkolli sir, ನೋಡಿ sir ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ವಡಾ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ sir. He goes and he sits. The owner orders, "Hey, one plate vada kodi sir ge anta." He's sitting there. You know how the vada is served, a big vada with one chutney and one sambar. He looks at the owner and says, "Sir, do you charge for chutney and sambar?" What will the owner say? No. Only for the vada. And he is asking again, "Sir, vada, how much?" He says 40 rupees. Fixed, will fix up the vada price. How much it is? 40 rupees. One plate vada has come, one vada, one bowl of chutney, one bowl of sambar. He breaks it into 4 pieces and he says, "Sir, you have told that your vada can satisfy my hunger." "Yes sir, it can satisfy anybody's hunger. You shuru madi sir." "And you have told your vada is tasty." "Yes sir, it is tasty." "Sir, condition meet adrene naan kaas kododu. ನೀವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ತಿನ್ನಿ ಸರ್, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ." The first plate vada comes. He breaks the vada into 4 pieces. He dips and he completes it. He looks at the owner and says, "Very, very tasty." Tasty signal like it. Tasty, but stomach not full. So he says, "Okay, another plate vada kodi." One more plate vada is given. Again he completes that vada and he looks at the owner and says, "Very, very tasty, but stomach not full." Again he says 3rd plate, 4th plate, 5th plate, and next comes 7th plate vada. This is called a Sapt Vada technique. In personality development, we tell the story as Sapt Vada technique, or in English we call it as Nth Vada technique. What I mean by Nth Vada, you will see the story. After eating 6 vadas, the server goes up to the owner, "Sir, ಏನ್ lucky sir, ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ರು 7 ವಡ ತಿಂತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 7 ವಡ ಅಂತ ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ." ನಂದು 20 years experience. ಅವನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಡ ಕಾಲ್ ಭಾಗ ತಿಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ, ಅವನಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡೋಣ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ he was an expert. He knew ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸತಿ ತಿಂದಾಗ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಓನರ್ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಓನರ್ಗೆ. ಹಂಗೆ your teacher knows how many times if you study you can become perfect. That is the reason some of you are asked to do the homework 3 times, and for some of you who are weak, she says, those who have scored less than 35 write it 10 times. But you people actually completely got lost the objective of why she told 10 times. Because you can satisfy your hunger after 10 times only. But the other student 3 times will do. So understand why instructions are given and why instructions are given differently to different people, because God does not create duplicates. You and me only create Xerox copies. God doesn't create Xerox copies. He always creates masterpieces. And you are that masterpiece. Believe in you. You are that great masterpiece. You are capable of doing miraculous things in your life. You will have to believe so. If you believe, there is nothing called as denial in God's book. Right now there is a choice for you. I believe I can do big in life, and stick on to that, it will happen. Now the 7th vada that Raju takes, he breaks it into 4 pieces. He takes the first vada, puts it to the chutney, puts it to the sambar. He puts it here, it is not going down. Why? Because already the vada is still here. The owner told, "No, uncle, tilli kaagalla. Oh, bill kodu anta." How much is 40 into 7?
47. 280. 280.
It's okay. 280 ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. 280 ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಓನರ್ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಿ ಬಿಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ದು ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ರಾಜು ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಬಿಲ್ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಲ್ ನ puts it upside down. He takes 40 rupees. He gives and he's leaving. As soon as he's leaving, the owner goes and catches him. "Sir, 280 40 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ?" He immediately says, "Sir, speak the truth, sir. ನ್ಯಾಯ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು? Your vada should satisfy my hunger also, and it should satisfy my taste also. Only taste was satisfied, sir. First vada did not satisfy my hunger, sir. Second vada also did not satisfy my hunger, sir. Actually, 7th word has satisfied my hunger. ಅದು ಪೂರ್ತಿ ತಿಂದಿಲ್ಲ, 4 ಭಾಗ ತಿಂದಿರೋದು, 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. You and me, we know he is a fool. His 7th vada was actually satisfied because of what? Because of the 6 vadas what he has eaten. In the same manner, when your teacher gives you a certain assignments, you should also know after how many vadas you can understand it perfectly. And especially because you great teachers are there who are handling such students, we should also have this understanding. ಈ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸತಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನ ತಲೆಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬಿಸಕ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. We will have to be different. All of you are great teachers, all of you are great students. But I am asking a direct question to the teacher. Can you be a teacher like Thomas Alva Edison's mother in building the confidence from within? And again, can all of you be a student like Thomas Alva Edison? A beautiful story. I know it is hot, 2:20. I'll try to complete it quick. Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
The voice is little low. Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
A beautiful story of Thomas Alva Edison. We will understand who this Thomas Alva Edison is. Thomas Alva Edison was the greatest scientist, but let me tell you, Thomas Alva Edison was a school student who was thrown out of the school because he was a slow learner. His principal told, we cannot accommodate this student because he needs to be sent to a special school. Let me tell the story. Because for the teachers also, for you also, it's a great lesson that you will have to learn. Irrespective of whether you are academically good or bad today, it does not matter. I have seen those who have performed very low from 1st to 7th standard, have performed very high from 8th to 10th standard. And those who have not performed very good in 8th to 10th standard have phenomenally performed in +1 and +2. And those who have done averagely in +1 and +2, they would have done engineering and MBBS in a very excellent level. Let me tell you, your yesterday is not equal to today, your today is not equal to tomorrow, your yesterday will not be equal to tomorrow. And we as teachers, we know backbenchers cannot be underestimated. Life takes the backbenchers into certain places where it is highly impossible to imagine, and the front benchers and rank students will be working for these backbenchers. We have seen in our own example. S.M. Krishna was not a front bencher, but he became a chief minister. Deve Gowda was not a front bencher, he became a prime minister. Bill Gates was a college dropout. Today every college goer dreams of, I should work in Microsoft at least for a month. Let it be any job, I want to work. Many engineers, many IIT engineers, they are dreaming of, I need to work for Microsoft. And the same Microsoft founder was a college dropout. So yesterday what you are and today what you become, it is not in your hand, but it is in your subconscious hand. If you believe you can do miracles anytime. Let me share this beautiful story of Thomas Alva Edison. Thomas Alva Edison ಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಬರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. 4 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ, 5 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯ್ತು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ mother also knew. Somehow she went up to one of the school which was close by. They were a poor family and they did not have enough money to put him to the best school. Whatever was the closest school that she could think of where his son can go, she went there and she told, please give my son an admission. The procedure will be the same. Whoever is in charge of admission, he asked Thomas, what's your name? Thomas was not able to speak. Can you count 1 to 3? Thomas was not able to speak. Then they decided if he is not able to speak, he cannot make any difference. You wait for 1 or 2 years. When he is able to speak, you please get him. Mother started teaching him at home. Somehow after 2-3 years, he was able to speak. And then they come back to the same school. And the same teacher, when she is asking him, is able to answer, though he is of an higher age, he was not answering to the capabilities of that age. He was much lower to the capabilities of which standard he could go. Just because they had already rejected him, the information went to the principal. The principal told, let us not say no to him. ನೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಒಂದ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಟೆಂಪರರಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್. ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಫಾರ್ 1 month. ಅವನು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ, ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ. ದಟ್ Thomas was very happy going to the school. He wears the uniform, he carries the bag, and he's going. He's so thrilled, he's so enthusiastic. But he knows he's not as good as any of his batchmates. He every time went up to his mother and told, "Mama, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನನ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಮ್ಮ ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ? ನೀನ್ ಜೀನಿಯಸ್ ಮಗ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಂಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ." Look at the way the mother puts confidence in student. Because as a teacher, there will be a Thomas Alva Edison sitting here. In future, he would be doing 1,500 inventions. There will be one Narendra Modi sitting in this village. Actually, Narendra Modi and Sudha Murthy, they did not sit in the benches and they studied. In their villages, they were sitting on the ground and they actually studied. And not even English medium, just like you guys are blessed to be in Bangalore, to study in a reputed school. But there it was completely different. But still, today we want to work for Narendra Murthy's Infosys. Today we want to work for Sudha Murthy's Infosys. So when Thomas Alva Edison was not able to cope up, the principal had no other option but to call him and say, "Thomas, I think you need not come for school from tomorrow. Where is your mother? Can you bring her?" "No, mom comes from work only after 7. By that time our school will be closed. You do like this, I'll write a letter, give it to your mom, and you tell your mom that from tomorrow you need not come to the school." "Sir, I want to come to school." "You read this letter, your mom will explain you. We cannot accommodate you." "Why, sir, you can't accommodate me? Am I not good?" "You're good, but I cannot explain you. You ask your mother, she will read the letter, you will understand. Go now." "Can you go on your own?" "Yes, sir." He goes. Crying, he comes home and he's crying until his mother comes back. As soon as the mother comes back, mother looks at the child and she understood something has happened in the school. Immediately Thomas goes up to his mother and says, "Mama, the principal told I need not go to school from tomorrow." "Why?" "I don't know. She told something is written in the letter and it exactly tells me why I cannot go. Read this letter for me, Mama. I want to know why I cannot go to school. You are saying I am genius and they are saying don't come to school." The mother opens the letter. Looking at the letter, mother is completely confused with emotions. She's actually with tears. She takes up an handkerchief, wipes her tears with a smile in her face. She calls Thomas. "Thomas, come, I'll read the letter." And she reads loudly. The letter is read something like this. To the parent of Thomas Alva Edison. "Your son is a genius. He cannot be accommodated with normal students like what we have in our school. That way, he cannot learn. He should be put to a genius school or you should personally teach such genius students. Yours lovingly, the principal," and the signature. Looking at these words, Thomas was filled with so much of high confidence and he told, "Mama, it is right. That's the reason. They are different. I am different, Mama. I don't want to go to school. You only teach, Mama. Because I'm genius. Why should I actually waste my time with normal students?" And from that day, our mother starts teaching him by making him do kinesthetically things. Where an experiment, you will have to do and learn, write and learn, do and learn, write and learn, write multiple times and learn, write multiple times, n times. Which is your nth word, you also don't know. For some lesson, nth word could be writing 10 times. For some lesson, nth word could be writing 2 times, you can understand perfectly. So understand, be smart learners. Your goal is set. But to achieve that goal, you should make smart move. This lesson ಅರ್ಥನೇ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Maybe it is expecting you to write multiple times and learn. Write multiple times. Now go to the teacher, ask her suggestion. ಯಾಕೆ ನನ್ನ ತಲೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್? She will tell you, you do this, you do this, you do this, it will work. And it really works. And then Thomas started becoming better and better and better. By the age of 20-25, he had already done 20-25 inventions. They were well off. At that point of time, they wanted to shift the house. He had got many recognition from many organizations and he was considered as the most smartest person then because of the experiments and the inventions what he has done. At that particular time, they wanted to shift to a new place, a bigger place. So as they were shifting, he finds his old trunk. It was his trunk because he kept all his childhood things in that. As soon as he opens the trunk, he finds the uniform which he had worn when he had first time gone to the school. His tie was there, the badge was there, the ID card was there, whatever that was given. Looking at all that, he was so happy. At that point of time, when all the clothes were taken up and all the toys were removed, he finds a small letter there. And that letter was the same letter which the principal had written to her mother. As a child, he couldn't read at that time. Now he feels, let me read this. He opens the letter. As he starts reading, he could not control. He comes up to his mother and he falls on her feet and she says, Mom, thank you for creating a Thomas Alva Edison, Mom. Can you repeat? Mom, thank you for creating a Thomas Alva Edison, Mom. And mother told, what? You read the letter? Yes, Mom. Mom, that day if you would have read the letter as it was, I think I wouldn't have lived my life, Mom. Thank you so much, Mom, for giving me this confidence that I can do something in my life. And do you know actually what was written in the letter? The letter had a simple writing, something like this. To the, guys, look here. To the parent of Thomas Alva Edison. Dear parents, your son is a genius student. That is what it was read. Actually, it was written, your son is a slow learner. He is mentally very, very slow. He cannot be accommodated with bright students like our students in the school. It will be difficult for him to cope up with them. So we request him to be put to a special school. Instead of special school, to genius school she reads. Or you teach your special son, or you teach your genius son, that is what she reads. So this kind of a confidence has to be imbibed by we as a teachers onto our kids. And it could be even not only from the students' perspective, sometimes nammaklalu, even though small changes na we can say akka maklu, anna maklu. So you will have to know how to imbibe confidence in them so that they know this is a time for me to rise and actually stay taller for this occasion. And because all of us have forgotten what our strength is. Why? Because Hanuman was cursed and that curse has come to all the kids. Until unless a personality development trainer comes and tells you are capable of doing big things in life, we forget what our capabilities are. All of you would have heard this story of Hanuman. We as kids, we are very confident people. What I mean by that, ನಿಮ್ಮನೇಲಿ ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ರೆ 3 ವರ್ಷ 4 ವರ್ಷ 5 ವರ್ಷ, you make him stand on the table and you ask him jump. He will not think twice. Before you say jump, you would have jumped and he would have walked out. Now if I make you stand on the same bench and if I ask you to jump, you will start thinking, what will happen if I jump? If I jump and if I break my leg, what will happen? Why? Because we are being consistently fed so many resistance into our mind that we have started becoming weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. Why? When you become too strong, it was difficult for the universe to handle kids. So, the universe made a conspiracy so that Indra will come and curse, all kids shall forget what their strength is. That is what happened to Hanuman. Hanuman was such a strong boy and all of us are Hanumans when we were kids. One day it so happened, Hanuman was playing with his friends and it was in the evening and they wanted to eat mangoes. So Hanuman will say, come, all of us will go to the garden and we will start picking up mangoes from a mango group. They go to a mango group and all the kids are asking Hanuman, go there, big mango, big mango, big mango. He keeps on jumping, higher and higher and he gets them the best and the best mangoes. One last friend was there and he asked him, Yako, ning bedvena maunanno? Alla Hanuma, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಲ್ವಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡು ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ ಸರಿನಪ್ಪ ನಾನು ಕೊಡೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಮಾವಿನ ಕೊಡು. He is referring to the sun which was just setting. When the sun was setting in the evening, it was just looking like a ripe mango. Hanuman was so confident. Hanuman was so confident about his strength. He told, "Why do you worry? I will get it." And he flew. Again, I'm telling you, where there is a will, there will always be a way. There was a strong will. Hanuman wanted to pick up that mango. As Hanumanta started flying, Hanumanta did not know as a boy he was growing in size because he had to hold the entire size of the mango. Sometimes we say our mind will make its own destiny and size change depending on what you want to acquire. A chaiwala will make his own destiny depending on what he wants to achieve. A tribal woman will make his own destiny and make some changes within so that she could become a president. So like that, Hanuman started becoming bigger, larger and larger and larger. He's spreading his hands, he's becoming gigantic, and he was as close as possible so that few more minutes he would have grabbed the sun, and everybody is in a chaos and they pray for Indra. Indra comes and he hits him and then he curses him. You will forget your strength until unless somebody does not ignite you and tell what your capabilities are. Same thing has happened to you and me. So we as teachers, we will have to become that actually Jambuvanta, to go and tell them again and again, you are capable of bigger things. Just like Thomas Alva's mother who told, you are a genius student, and that made him genius. Most of the time as parents, how do you say? Nindada, 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 nindada. You're blessing him to become that, he was not. Sometimes these students also, they throw so much of tantrums, we feel like Maya mantra ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದು small ಇರುವೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದೇ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡಾಕ್ಬಿಡ. Yes, it boys, I am a teacher, I know. But it has to be on the positive note. And when Sitama had to be found out if she is in Lanka, everybody is discussing who will fly to Lanka, who will fly to Lanka, who will fly to Lanka. When everybody is discussing who will fly, Jambuvanta will come and say, hey Anuma, what are you looking for? Who will fly to Lanka and searching? You? Who will get 100%? You see left to right, दुश्मन कहाँ है, दोस्त भी कहाँ है बगल में? No, दोस्त भी अंदर ही है. If you want to hit that 100% result, you should become a friend of yourself. If you become a dushman of yourself by doing pleasurable things, that becomes non-achievable. If you can become a dost of yourself by taking pain, because there is no gain without pain. Repeat after me. There is no gain without pain. Right now sitting, your pada, your mandi, your base, everything is saying uncomfortable. But you say no pain, no gain. Sit. Slap yourself. Not physically, the mind. Sit. He's telling something important. Sit. You will sit. No, I'm feeling uncomfortable. You will start feeling more uncomfortable. Why? There is always a way. Do you have willingness? There are people who sit in the morning like this and they go out only in the evening. Army men. When they are holding a gun and they are standing like this, they will not move even an inch. That is how they are determined. So, Jambuvanta is your teacher. Jambuvanta is me. I am coming here and saying, my God, you guys are capable of scoring 100 out of 100. Don't have it inhibition. Last year you did not do. Last year you did not do. But you have that capabilities in you. Hanuma, you can fly 10 times more than this. Go. I am also saying all these lady Hanumas and Jen Hanumas and boy Hanumas, you are capable of doing that 10%. Do it. All the best. Thank you. Love you all so much. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Clap. Once again. Done. Thank you very much. If you have any questions.